Good morning and welcome in. This is the Connect Show from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. So happy that you are here with us. Nope, there's no Tracy today. Kim's here, Ben's here. They're going to introduce themselves. My name is Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. I run Thunder MKE LLC. I am your storyteller. So if you're looking for a podcast, if you're looking for opportunities to get out and about in the community, I'm here to do it with you. I love being a part of our community. There's so much going on in southeastern Wisconsin. And wherever you're watching from, I'm sure there's a lot going on in your community as well. Get involved, be a part of it. It's so much more fulfilling when you put yourself out there. And with that, I introduce to you our number one today. She's always number one in our hearts, but today she's number one on the mic, Kim Knock. Hey, Kim.
Dig you. Thank you, Mitch.
You bet.
Welcome, everybody, to the Connect Show. Like Mitch said, I'm Kim Knock, and my business is Opportunities Knocking. You know, like what opportunities, like you said, are coming. I do social media management, tons of digital marketing, event planning, all kinds of craziness. It's a great time. You are part of episode 34 of season 3. Today we are talking about coaching for success. We're going to miss Tracy, but I have a great co-host right here next to me, Ben Palmer. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. Ben Palmer here, and I will try to do my best to fill in for Tracy. By day, I do direct drive logistics, helping Wisconsin companies move manufacturing and products around anywhere they need in the Wisconsin country world. We're moving things everywhere, and I have a part-time Think Local, which is supporting small businesses, getting their story out there, and just really excited to be here.
Amazing. It's going to be a great show. It's great to have you here. Today we have Bill Vinson and Dotty Posto joining us for the show. As always, we love to start off by thanking our fantastic partners. Today, we are thanking Canva. Canva is an online design and visual communication platform, has a mission to empower everyone in the world to design anything and publish anywhere. I've been playing. There are some new apps and features in Canva. Really? Yes, you can. Canva's adding AI. Oh, yes, they are.
Have to.
You can put words in, and it's going to make a photo color. It can make a photo for you, exactly with what you described.
I'm on the app right now. And I had a meeting Sunday night for my daughter's little softball.
Yeah.
And we were talking about flyers, and we've got this fundraiser coming up. And I said, Canva, done.
Yes.
I got it.
Softball flyer, take it, change your colors, do your whatever. It's
exactly.
Probably 5 minutes.
So
Love
easy.
It. Love it. Taking all of our digital marketing tools and just expanding them. I don't look at it as a competition.
No, if they save us time and make our jobs better, then we're over-delivering for our clients and our partners and our friends.
Absolutely.
And our commitments.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, that's great. And with Canva, I even teach my kids how to use it.
Yes.
And it's a tool that they can jump right into and start creating things. I need flyers for my lawn care business. Great. Go on there, use a template, and get to work. And it's amazing what you can
my
create.
older daughter just started babysitting.
Yeah.
And she's about to turn 13. I think she should make a flyer for that and hand it out around the neighborhood.
Why not?
With all the families who have younger kids.
Yeah.
Because we keep telling everybody, but they don't have her number or this or that.
Yeah.
Again, 5 minutes, she'd be done with a
Make
flyer.
her a business card and print them right through Canva.
Ooh.
I also think it's you learn as you create. And if you can make one flyer, then you can be like, the next time I need a flyer, you're just that much
You already
quicker.
know what you're doing.
So.
Love it.
I also want to draw attention to this space as our hosting sponsor, Expansive Workspace, where we broadcast the Connect Show. Great location here, guys. Great facility. Excited to be here. They have locations in Milwaukee, Madison, and beyond with 42 locations. Visit expansive.com to learn more about their facilities.
And Kim's kind of our expansive guru. She's been to like half of them.
I have not been to half. I've been to 4 or 5.
Okay, all right.
I've been to 4 or 5.
I mean, that's more than 2.
Cool. It is more than 2. I haven't been in the downtown Milwaukee one.
Oh,
or
really?
Madison. No, I go throughout the country.
The traveler.
Right. We are super thankful that you came to watch the Connect Show. We think connecting is a huge key to building small businesses. So tell your friends about our show. If you have a topic or a guest that you would like to be on this show, email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com. We are here to build this for you. And we have to thank our guests from last week, Kristen Gupta and Bud Matthews. We talked about creating your own opportunities, it being okay to ask for help, and we are ready for Mitch Nellis
I was
with
just
some
sharing
info about
okay,
today's
I
guest.
can
You
do
share.
that. I was just sharing the show
Do it.
on my personal social links.
See, that's
Oh,
great.
good.
Which I love doing.
That's great.
But super excited. Let's make sure I get there's my link. Super excited for today's guests. Bill Vinson is here, and he is with Action Coach, and he's going to tell us all what that means. A lot of coaching going on today, so we're gonna discuss what that word means to us as well in the question of the day. Outside of work, Bill can be found going for long runs, playing hockey with his kids in the winter, but that's pretty much all the time in Wisconsin, right? Walking at 5:30 in the morning. I didn't know that. Actually, I didn't know there was a 5:30 in the morning until this morning when my wife woke me up and said, "Do you want to go to yoga with me, or I could let you sleep and you can go to the gym?" I chose the 50 minutes of sleep and going to the gym. I had told her yesterday I was going to go to yoga. I will make it there, but it wasn't today. But Bill obviously knows what 5:30 in the morning looks like. So he's out and about on the Wisconsin lakes. He's a former sports and adventure director at the YMCA of Metropolitan Milwaukee in like a former life. I think that's super cool. Like I am very involved in youth sports with my daughters who both play softball and one plays basketball, and we've done volleyball and we've done all sorts of stuff. So love hearing about getting active at the YMCA. My kids also did gymnastics there and swimming there and all that sort of stuff. And you're a Homestead guy, huh? So I'm a Nicolay guy, so I don't know how this is going to go. We'll see about that little rivalry. And now I live in Whitefish Bay. And again, I know I've mentioned this before, like I bled Nicolay, and now I'm like all in on Whitefish Bay. It's like where you end up living with your kids is kind of where your allegiances fall. But there's still a little Nicolay Homestead waxy buildup. So we'll see how that goes. Super excited for Bill Vinson to be here today. And Dotty Posto's here today as well. I don't see a Harley Davidson in Studio A5, but if there was one, Dotty would feel right at home. She's worked for Harley Davidson. She's also a big rider, and so I'd love to hear. I bet she's got some fun stories from her time on the road as well. Also has been an adjunct professor at UW-Madison. She's worked for the Chicago Tribune. She loves to travel. She loves her family, and when I talk about travel and her family, she mixes those when she hikes in national parks with her daughter. Very cool. I bet that, again, during pandemic, my family and I discovered a ton of state parks and state forests in Wisconsin. And like it was normal on the weekend to drive 45 minutes an hour away to do that because we didn't have softball. We didn't have sports. It was kind of nice. We kind of missed that. I'm happy that I had sports, but I missed that family time as well. I mentioned yoga. You're a yogi. So I do hot yoga. I don't know how you feel, but no, not hot yoga. Okay. I like a little bit of the schwitz, I got to be honest. But also Dottie's interested in photography and cooking and eating healthy food. And she, I was on her website, In Plain Sight, which she'll talk a lot more about. But one of the quotes that jumped out to me from her website was, does not play well with others. And if that is applied to you, Dottie is the right person to connect with to work on team issues, leadership opportunities as well. I thought that was really cool that, so many of us have been told in our lives does not play well with others because especially as a small business owner, we're inventive, we're creative, and that doesn't always flow in the corporate landscape. And Dottie can help us with that, and super excited as well with Bill and his coaching experience. Like I said, it's all about coaching today. When we get done with today, we are going to be better workers and, more importantly, better people. So super excited for Dottie and Bill today.
I love it. I think one of your things you probably got in school was talks too much in class. I got it.
Oh, yeah.
I totally got that all the time.
Yes.
I didn't get the don't play well with others, but man, she talks too much. Shut her up.
Whatever I had to say was obviously more important than whatever the teacher was saying. Come on.
And I'm right in the middle of them.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Here we go. Hey, everyone. The Connect Show is better when it's interactive, so please add your comments in the chat. We'll bring them up and add them to the conversation. This is a great opportunity to get expert advice, help your business grow, and connect with new people and add to your network. So please add the comments, and we'll make them live and interactive. So thank you for that.
I love that. And also shout out where you're coming from. We want to see where you're watching from today.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Yep.
Let's go.
We love the roll call.
Mm-hmm. And we're all volunteers here at The Connect Show. If you like the show, you want to get involved, email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com. Thank you to everyone involved. And those of you that contribute via the chat, you are also involved. So thank you. We're in this together.
No doubt.
The day.
Ready for the quote.
I like it. Who exactly seeks out a coach? If you ask a coach, the answer is usually the same. Winners who want even more out of life. Abigail Pickus. She's writer, content specialist, journalist.
Yeah, I just kind of like that because I don't know if I love the concept of like winners and the opposite of winners or whatever that might be, but just the concept of seeking out a coach and that people who are interested in advancing themselves, in bettering themselves, in creating opportunities for themselves, so often that will involve a coach.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a business coach to help with finances or a life coach or somewhere in between. There's so many opportunities where it's okay, kind of like to last week, talking about asking for help.
Yeah.
You know, let's ask people who know more than us about X, Y, and Z, how to succeed at X, Y, and Z. There's no shame in that.
Right.
That's actually a strength to seek out a coach.
Well, and the coaches are going to, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong, but they're going to pull out what you already have inside of you that you're not seeing for yourself. So they're going to lead you in the direction to figure out this is what I want. And the smarter people or the winners are the ones looking for that next level. You know, they're the ones that are, I'm ready to go here. John always tells me, you need a coach for this. You need a coach for that. He's 100% right. Every time. He is.
Well, John's usually right. John.
I mean, you know.
Ben, what do you think?
So who seeks a coach? People who want things better. And they
Yeah.
want to take it to the next level. And we can't do it alone. So we need those around us for accountability and to share our ideas with and bounce ideas off of in order to take us to the next level. And what a great thing that there's others around us that can help us with that. And
Maybe
it's just
there's
about building those connections.
Maybe there's a coach to tell you what kind of coach you need. Like a coach to say, okay, you're screwing up here. You're doing really well here. You're good here. Let's focus here. I mean, because
Like whether it's an organizational coach or a financial coach or, you know, all sorts. And I'm sure our coaches will tell us today that there are all sorts of different kinds of coaches. And depending on where you are in your journey, both personal and professional, that'll depend on what type of coach makes sense for you.
I agree.
All right, so I threw this question, the question of the day, and I like this because I have an immediate reaction that I've worked really hard to overcome.
Okay.
So the question of the day, what I threw out there is, when you hear the word coach or that someone has a coach, what is your first reaction? Because for a long time, my first reaction was, oh, you're a failure, so you need a coach to help you not be a failure. And clearly that's an internal monologue going on, right? That's how I you know, and there have been times I have felt that way about myself, where I don't have a coach, or I've failed in my corporate life or in my professional life or in running my own LLC, and I don't even deserve to have a coach. I can't afford to have a coach. Oh, you must be rich if you can afford to have a coach. These are all, you know, what I would have said were preconceived notions I had that now I would say are misconceptions I have about coaches. But it's taken a long time for me to become comfortable with, oh, there's a lot of coaches out there, and some of them are right for you and some of them are not right for you, and that's okay. And you have to mix personalities and you have to mix what the goals are and be very transparent. But everyone I know who has a coach, and I think, I don't even want to say 99.9%. I want to say 100%. And maybe, and that doesn't mean that the first coach they ever had was the right coach, but everyone who's working with a coach is having a positive experience. So why, so again, when my first thought years ago was like, oh, either you're rich or you're a failure, like, no, you're a success because you've leaned into this concept of asking for help as a strength. All right, I just talked way too much. I'm done.
Okay.
You guys go.
That's the point.
Yep.
I think that would be incredible if our first impression to somebody is to say, coach, is great job. good for you, but it was a positive rather than that negative. And I felt that, like, I don't want to coach because I think I have all the answers, and I don't. And I need to reach out and ask for help and say, I'm trying my best, but I want to take it to the next level. Who can help me? That's what coaches are for. And and trying to get that to people to go, let's look highly upon people that are seeking out improving their position, and let's set our own goals and how are we going to get there. So
I'm going to start some crap.
Do it. Start it.
I'm going to start some
That's
crap.
what we're here for today.
So I have a strong belief in coaching. However, there are many coaches out there that I don't think are actually the expert in that area. And I think that's why coaching gets such a bad rap. Because, and everyone has to start out somewhere. But don't say that you're the expert at something if you're starting out. Bring people into the process and say, this is where I'm trying. Coaches and going further with who I can trust, because I don't necessarily, and like I said, it's not going to be an opinion everyone's going to like, but just like social media managers, there's a bunch of them out there. Some are good, some aren't, whatever. It's fine.
Some
but
say they're experts at whatever it might
some
be.
say
And maybe they're just
experts,
learning it.
and they're just learning it.
Which you have to do.
Absolutely. And it might be an ugly opinion by many, but to me, I'll always bring in the networking aspect of it, because collaboration is a huge thing for me. And I've networked with Dotty a number of times, and I've really gotten to know who she is, what she's about. Maybe didn't dig as deep as you did to find your information for her.
Right.
But
but that's why you network IRL in real life.
And I can believe and actually say, no, Dotty would be I believe Dotty is the right person to go to, because I've heard her talk about X, Y, or Z. She's put these different events together. She has these retreats for this. There are many different layers to a very good coach, and why some people can charge a decent amount.
Yeah. I think a great example to your point is, I have a friend who was a college professor and moved into coaching during the pandemic. And honestly, she used me as a guinea pig. And her coaching's more on the therapy side of things. Yeah. She's not a therapist. She's very upfront about that. But she's into human feelings and digging deeper into why you have this roadblock for yourself or why you have this. And it was, so I did a 6-month coaching with her, and I have a therapist. So I didn't necessarily need her type of coaching, but I got a lot out, and I can say to other people, yes, she's just starting. I don't know that I'd call her the expert in what she's doing, but she's really good at it, and she's getting better.
And if she's leading you into the right direction, saying, hey, I'm not a therapist, but these are good things, maybe, oh, you know what? I just dug into this. I can talk to my therapist about this. Or
that actually was a big help.
Bringing you into so many different life aspects is really important.
Absolutely.
So
nice. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Maybe
for
I'm
Dotty
unfavored. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
No. I think that's what it's all about, is having these conversations.
Yeah.
I think just like the Connect show and what we do with Think Local, if people know people, then they can make good business decisions and good decisions. So it's, how do we get to know people? The Connect show, it brings them in, tell us about you. And that's what's great about having things like that, because then people know their heart and build those connections. And I've used lots of coaches, and I'm grateful for my coaches and what they've, been able to help me achieve through the years. And it's just something that I'm a big fan of, and encourage people to go find a coach, set your goals, keep crushing it.
Yeah.
So
we've had a lot of coaches on the show over the past, 3 years, but 2-ish that I think I've been on it. And I've met some phenomenal people, and you get to hear them, and I'll rewatch some of their clips and go, oh, that was a good thing that they just said,
I have a notepad while you're doing the show and write down all the smart things they say.
Exactly.
Because more often than not, coaches have like amazing nuggets that if I take, it's kind of like when I read a book, I read a lot for fun, but I also read, self-help or leadership books or whatever. And if I remember a couple nuggets I feel like that's a success. And it's the same thing when I hear a coach speak. It's like, if I remember a couple nuggets of what they said that are going to help me be better, do better, feel better, I feel like that's a win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. John, how are we looking behind the scenes? Do we have any questions or anything going on? We have Tracy.
Oh, Tracy's here.
Oh, Tracy.
Tracy.
Coaching is like food. So many choices. That's so right. I like that perspective. So many choices, and what's good for you and what's not good for you.
But what are you hungry for?
Look at all these nuggets. They should be quote cards like crazy.
It's going to lead you
John
in a
wants you
direction.
to drop the mic, just like, but what are you hungry? And I think that's, that's the point about coaching, is that there is the right fit. But it doesn't have to be, it's not going to be perfect right away. It's okay to test the waters. And I think our coaches will agree, like, you want to find the right situation so that everybody's successful with the outcomes.
Yeah. Is that all we got today, John, behind the
Thanks,
scenes?
Trace.
That's all we've got today. We are ready for our transition, and we're going to be ready for our first guest.
He's clicking. It's happening.
He's trying so hard.
Click here.
William Vinson is Vice President for Action Coach of Wisconsin. Throughout each day, whether it be with someone he's never met or someone he's worked with for years, he wants each interaction to inspire and build hope into others. Bill has been a leader in higher education and business for more than 20 years and has traveled the world as an inspirational speaker and leader, reaching over 5,000 people.
Williams worked for companies such as Activision, Microsoft, Napa Auto Parts, and more. Bill has spoken in Orlando, Washington, D.C., multiple cities throughout India, Canada, and more. And he holds a Master's of Arts from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So, nice.
Welcome to the show, Bill. So great to have you.
Thank you, Kim.
I am excited. We're going to dive right into the audience questions. So you got to hear us talking about the audience question. Hopefully I'm not on your bad side.
Not at all.
We asked everybody what their first reaction to the word coach is. And what reactions do you get when people find out that you are a coach?
Yeah, it's interesting because we've gone past, there was like an early adopters phase where a small percent of people might have a coach for life coaching or something like that. And we've gone past the early adopters, if you think of grade going up, to where now it's very common in business to have a coach, an executive coach, a leadership coach. Because one thing I know about running a business, owning a business, leadership is lonely.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of people to hold you accountable, like you mentioned earlier, Ben, or to help guide you or strategize with. And so now it's like, you hear that when people learn that you're coaching other businesses, they ask you about leadership, they ask you about strategy rather than, what does that mean? Yeah. So we've seen a shift in the last year.
It's becoming more natural and normal for everyone to accept it. Because like you said, life coaches have been a thing for a while, but entrepreneurship has grown so much, especially after the pandemic.
I mean, business is the greatest game in the world. And if you look at any game we watch on Saturday or Sunday, every single one of those athletes, any actor we watch, they all have coaches. So if we're watching these people saying, gosh, I want to be able to do that, why wouldn't we do that in our business?
Right. You're the best wide receiver in the entire NFL. Why do you need a coach? Well, because you need to bring it out of you, right?
Yeah. You know, one thing I've learned, and we say this often, business leaders, owners, executives, we're great at a lot of things, but holding ourselves accountable isn't always one of them. And that's one of the things that continues to come up in leaders I work with.
Yeah. Bill, you created a program for emerging leaders. Tell me why you love working with them.
So this is my passion project, working with emerging leaders. When I was president of Herzing University in Madison and in New Orleans, I realized working with up-and-comers, people who realized they wanted to do more with their career, is where I started to feel my heart beat a little faster and leaned into. And that's really why I came here to do this. So working with emerging leaders, I've developed programs for them. I have small classes, big group programs. The world grows when a leader grows. And when you tap somebody and they start to realize they have that leadership gift, and we all have influence, right? So no matter where you are, you have influence. So if you have influence, you're a leader. And that's the opportunity I love tapping into with people to help them see they can do more.
It's nice to see the water down effect. You positively impact a leader and you see all the lives that come from that, because it's just going to trickle down and positively impact their staff, their families, and has so much positive impact.
Yeah, and so, saying I said, I'll say it again, the world grows when a leader grows. If I help one leader grow, like you just said, Ben, that ripple effect goes throughout their whole community.
Yeah.
So what's inspiring you?
Other than 80s hair rock, because I'm a big 80s hair rock guy. What's inspiring me?
You can listen to 80s hair rock while you ski.
That's right. Being around other leaders inspires me. The guys I ski with are absolutely incredible entrepreneurs and leaders. I feel like I'm better when I'm around them. Yeah. I'm reading the book Multipliers right now for the second time by Liz Wiseman. Seeing people like her speak and how they invest in other people inspires me to do more. Those are probably two big things. Being around other leaders and people who are thinking bigger to make me think bigger.
So how did you think, in this little off the cuff, how did you realize that you were the person to be a leadership coach?
Ooh, that's good. In fact, so when I stepped down from my role to come do this, I had talked with our partner. I'll give you a quick backstory. I was in line to be a COO of a company, had the opportunity. It was between me and another woman, and I thought, I got this. This is mine to win, right? I was sitting in a coffee shop, and one of my closest friends put his finger in my chest, and he said, don't take this job. And I said, you got to be kidding me. This is the biggest job of my life. He said, don't do it. You'll be so unhappy. And the next day, I just thought, gosh, what a jerk. That's what I thought about my best friend. So,
my friend anymore.
Right? So the next day, I'm sitting in the same coffee shop. My phone rings, and it's the CEO of this company. And I'm thinking life's about to change. And he says, we're going the other way. And my heart just sunk. Well, long story short, that afternoon, I called one of our partners at our firm now and said, I may have an itch I want to scratch about investing in leaders and helping leaders grow. And over the course of about 6 months, we talked about what that would look like and just built more and more confidence to say, okay, this is what I'm going to go do over that 6 months.
Do you think you would have been miserable in that position looking back now?
Yeah, I probably would have been. Yeah.
I think it's neat when other people around us, friends, coaches, family, they see more in us. Yeah. And they can look at it from that outside perspective that we can't see in our own bubble, but they're going, it's not a fit for you. And that's the same idea of a coach can look at what you're doing and go, that's a good position. I wouldn't go there, because they've seen it. They've got an outside perspective. So it's nice to have that. And kudos to you for jumping on a passion. I always look at it. We only live once, and we need to act fast on the things that are tugging on our heart, and then ask for help, because there's so many people that go, I want to see your dreams become a reality.
Yeah. And sometimes we need somebody to pull it out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've definitely heard of Action Coach. Do you want to just give a quick overview of what Action Coach is?
Yeah, absolutely. So we help in 3 primary areas, and we keep score. I think that's the biggest difference between us. So every month we do a financial review to make sure you're growing. We don't want somebody working with us if they're not growing the way they want to grow. And so we keep score of their financials, and we work in 3 areas. Time, you're running through the end of the day going, I don't know what I did all day, but I was busy. Mm-hmm. Team, building a team that doesn't just believe in the mission, but follows it and is inspired to be part of something bigger. And then money, measuring your success, making sure the business is growing. So time, team, and money are what we do.
Talk to me about your time. You start your day, 5:30, water skiing. Mm-hmm. Tell me, you talked about the peer group that's there, but talk about, call it your daily routine and how you be a top performer.
Yeah.
And I always say it's like how we start our day is so important. So it's neat that you're like, I'll be starting on the water. And it's like, that's a good wake up.
It is a good wake up, especially this morning. It's not warm yet. So it's chilly. So I get up early, usually between 4:30 and 5, do my Bible study for me just to set my mind right, get on the water, ski. I'm a runner, so then I usually get a run in and then start working with clients everywhere from big executives to people who started their business 6 months ago. So it's fun every hour going to a different topic, from billion-dollar publicly traded businesses to, can we afford to hire someone? And it keeps you engaged the entire day. So run like that. And then I have a team also I work with. So then typically Tuesdays, Wednesdays, I spend all day with clients. And then Thursday, Friday, working with our team and helping them grow.
Yeah, exciting.
So that's amazing.
4:30. That's pretty early. But you start it right.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great way to start.
So thank you for joining us so much on the show today. Do you have an offer or an event, anything you'd like to promote to our audience?
Yeah, so knowing where you're going is important. There's a funny line in the movie Dodgeball where Vince Vaughn says, I don't have a plan, and so I'm never disappointed, and I got to tell you, it feels great. It's a little tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. But the reality is if we don't have a plan, we don't know where we're going. Every 90 days, we bring all our clients together. We call it Growth Club for quarterly planning. Just figure out, where are we going the next 90 days? Would love to invite all your community and your viewers. If you want to come check out Growth Club, build a quarterly plan. We have a VIP rate. You can email me or my info's on the site. So BillVinson@actioncoach.com. But would love to invite you to just build a plan and see what the future could look like.
Amazing. We also have a page on our website for Bill, which you can connect with him, get all the information, all the good nuggets. It is theconnectshow.com/Bill Vinson. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Yes. It was great to have you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah,
all right. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome back. We have Dotty Posto here. Dotty, it's so good to have you here. You have had an incredible career coaching and consulting businesses and working in organizational development for Fortune 500 companies such as the Chicago Tribune and Hewitt, Harley-Davidson Motor Company. Your clients have experienced new levels of creativity, effectiveness, and established a renewed sense of well-being without the struggle they'd become accustomed to. It's so good to have you here get to talk to you.
Dotty creates a safe, collaborative space for candid and sometimes conflictive conversations that remove personal attacks and leave plenty of space for innovative solutions. In Plain Sight guarantees a foundation of authenticity, accountability, and action. I like the A's. Here you will make the best decisions for you and your organization. Lead from your core. Lead your team to their full potential. Welcome to the show, Dotty.
Thank you,
We're
Kim.
going back to the audience question.
Okay.
What is your reaction, or what do you think about the reaction to the word coach, and how do people react to you finding out that you are a coach?
Most people think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And some people think, oh, so you give people advice all day. And Kim, you're absolutely right in what you said earlier in that what I believe is the greatest coach. There are things that I have to teach people, and I do take, nuggets and teach people throughout our coaching experience. And most of it is really helping people discover the wisdom that's already inside of them.
Yes.
So I think it's awesome. I've had a coach since very early in my career, after I got a lot of the does not play well with others that Mitch mentioned on my report card. I didn't get does not play well with others. I did get talks too much, growing up.
That's why right?
But, I actually sought out my first coach. And then I've had some people, approach me because they've become coaches. And then I got assigned a coach when I got some more does not play well with others. And it was just life-changing for me. It was absolutely life-changing. So if somebody tells me they have a coach, awesome. That's great.
And you feel like everyone reacts pretty well to you being a coach. Like, how cool. She could set her own schedule. She helps people all day. Like, that's a good feeling for me, is to help people for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dotty, when does someone hire a coach versus powering through on their own?
That's a great question, because I run into a lot of people who really feel like they need to, or they should be I should be able to do this. I should be able to, pull myself up by my bootstraps or whatever. And like you said, we we create our life based on a lot of things that we've been told over the years. And I was talking to Bill earlier about how, we have habits and we have patterns. And like you said, we have blinders that we can't always see the wisdom that's inside of us. We can't always see how we are getting in our own way. We can't always see those challenges. And so for people who really want to grow, for people who want to, improve themselves and elevate their career, level up, or even just to continue where they're at. We had people when I worked at Harley, we had some folks that were like, I don't need a development plan. I love my job where I am. I'm like, but you're like a plant. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Right.
We are organic. If you're not growing, you're dying. And so I really believe that, trying to power through, there's certain times if you have the information and you've had a mentor or a coach before and the things to look for, then sometimes you can power through, and other times you really do need someone to help you peel back some of those layers of habits and patterns that are like water to a fish. You don't even realize they're there.
I think that's a huge key. You don't realize that it's there. And a lot of times you don't realize any of the potentials, any of them, because you're stuck in that exact spot. Yeah. Dying.
You don't
I like
see
that kind of analogy, even though it's tough, but
it is.
I like that analogy because it makes you think like, I need to move my ass. Excuse me, but I don't want to die today, So
it's neat to just keep growing, and you think about that career plan and that when you have a plan, what you can achieve compared to not having it, just going through aimlessly. And that is, what if 10% every year were the impact? What would that look like in 25 years? We tend to be so short-sighted on things and look at what contribution we can make to the organization if we pushed ourselves further, and what we could do for our careers and everything. So it's nice to look at that perspective of just help people get you to where you want to go.
Yep, absolutely. What makes your coaching unique?
So there's a couple things, and part of it is what I just mentioned, is that I truly believe. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. The reason I does not play well with others early in my career was because I was in a role that was not aligned to who I really was at my core, and I didn't realize it. All those layers of things, the skills I built that I got very good at, and because they weren't aligned to who I was at my core, my authentic self, my preferences, my personality, I didn't realize it because I'd gotten good at it, and people kept giving me roles and giving me opportunities and growing the skills, and it was sapping my energy, and I didn't realize it. And so I got all this does not play well with others. And as I went through, I realized, as I got different coaches and learned different things, I realized who I really was at my core and what I was meant to do. And this is part of it, being a coach. And so I really help people look at and try to see what those layers are and peel back those layers so that they can connect to who they are at their core. Sometimes that means shifting into a different position in the company. Sometimes it means finding a hobby or finding something outside of work that really is aligned to who I am so that I have the energy to do those things that aren't aligned. So it doesn't always mean leaving. It doesn't always mean, starting your own business or whatever. But there is that, once you have that awareness and you can realize what is going to fill my cup, what actually energizes me. And I know women, I know a woman who said, I absolutely know my career sucks my energy, but my hobbies, the service that I do fill me up so much, I can deal with that. And she's willing to do it because she's later in her career and she doesn't want to make a shift, and that's her choice. So
we all have things that are mundane in our work and we have to muscle through. And it's nice to have some of those things that energize us to be like, that carries through for the energy, and how to find that in a person and go, we just want the best for you. We want to see you excel. Yeah. And hopefully if you're in a corporate setting in this role and grow within this infrastructure. Yeah. So.
And that's so important for leaders. And that's part of what I do is I work with companies and do leadership development, team development, and one-to-one coaching. And to try and make sure, do you have the right people in the right seats? oftentimes some of the challenges, they're like, well, we need to let this person go. Things aren't working out. There's so much conflict and whatever. And I'm like, are you sure you couldn't just figure out what that person is really, really good at from their core, and let's move them into a position that's where they're going to thrive?
I think a lot of that falls into leadership. And there's something that you've said it, Mitch said it, does not play well with others. There's a lot of, I've been in the corporate world a long time. There's a lot of corporate mindset. I have a favorite hashtag, collaboration, not competition. That is not corporate world in the general scheme of things. A lot of times it's, you know your job, you do your job well, you're great at your job. No one else knows how to do your job. Now it's job security. And you'll see that a lot in leadership and key employees where if they go, the position could potentially die with them. Where when I've learned as more of becoming an entrepreneur, it's so much better to share your skill set with others. Now you're a leader, you're mentoring other people, and you get a different feel for it. You don't have to hold on to it so tight. It's not just yours, because you're not collecting that $1 billion paycheck at the end of the year. You can be fine being an employee. There's nothing wrong with being an employee in a company at all. Not everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur, but how you handle that and look at that. I like having coaches be able to come into a company and teach. It doesn't have to be like this. It really does not.
Yeah, I feel like there's nothing better than leaving it all on the table.
Yeah.
And like if I did this project or activity or business or job, I left it all on the table. I gave it my very best, and my very best is me plus my team. My teachers, instructors, coaches that make me the best. And it's like how to just keep pushing with that. So question for you, talking about what gets people stuck. What are some of the things that people get stuck with, and how can you work with them to go, let's work past this?
There's a number of different things that will get people stuck. One of them is when they are doing something that they got very good at, but isn't aligned to who they are, and they don't really enjoy it. And everybody talks about how much value they add, and we really need you. And so there's this level of obligation and guilt that.
Oh, I know that feeling. I've actually just went back in time. I felt that as you're talking it.
Because, they feel like they have to stay where they are. Some people are stuck. I have one of my very good friends who thinks that she's too old to get into a position like she is in now. She's miserable in her current role. She's miserable. And so, but she's got this limiting belief. She's got this thought that she's just repeated in her head, which is all a limiting belief is, are thoughts that we continue to repeat in our brain, that I can't find a new job. I can't get a new job at my age in this role. And she's younger, she's 1 year older than me. And that's not that old.
No.
I'm not even 60 yet.
No.
So
life to live.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just listening to others rather than really listening to their own soul, their own intuition, their own inner guidance, or unwilling to get a coach to help them kind of see what options there are. We put blinders on as to what the options are. My husband, when he got his job, and I probably coach him more than he wants me to sometimes. They always say in the coaching programs I've been in, never coach your family, unless they give you permission. But, he would look at, he was a mechanic by trade. And so when he looked at the job he's in now, which he's very good at, he's been promoted twice in less than 3 years. And he just couldn't make the connection between what he used to do and what he's doing now. He couldn't make that leap. And there's so many people who they look at a set of skills and they're not really looking deep into their gifts and talents, which to me are two very different things. And so we get stuck because we've developed a skill set, but we aren't really in touch with what those talents are, with what the gifts are that could really bring so much more to the world.
I think that's great. I think that, you're right, Dotty. People have so much to give. Why would they settle for less than, for a percentage? It's like, give everything. And it's neat to bring that out. So
I was just listening to one of my mentors and one of my teachers, and she was talking about how, she didn't realize she could make $1 million until someone else made $1 million. And now she's made 50 million on the way to make 100 million. And she said, think about whatever that goal is of making that money. She said, I have so many employees that I pay really well. I have a staff of people who take care of things in my home. I have a staff of people who take care of things with the things I own, like my airplane and my cars, and And she said, think of the impact, the waterfall effect, the ripple effect of all of the people impacted by her elevating her brain to be able to say, I want to be able to make that kind of money, and I can make that kind of money. And not that that's for everyone, but as we grow, the influence that we have, that ripple effect affects so many more people than just us. And I think we think so
that vision,
small.
like you're like, look at, I can give this person a pay increase because I got a pay increase. I can do this. I love that. I'm going to have to find the name of that person because I'm going to listen to them. I like it. I like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Dotty, thank you for being on the show today. Do you have any special offers for the audience?
As Kim said, I do also host a retreat, or sometimes small retreats, but I do have my, it's called Release and Restore, Declutter Your Brain, Rejuvenate Your Soul. And it is a women's retreat. So I'm sorry, guys. You can't be there, but the women in your life can. It'll be in October in Maine. It's going to be gorgeous. So that's something that I have coming up that I would love for, to bring more women to.
That's a multi-day?
Yes, it goes from the 19th to the 22nd of October.
That will be a neat full immersion.
Yes.
Some change, positive change happening there. So
we do have a page on our website for Dotty. It is theconnectshow.com/Dotty, Posto. Thank you again so much for joining us. It was great to have you.
Thank you, Dotty.
So what do you think about today?
Well, I think that people need coaches.
Yeah.
We need people in our lives to help us perform at higher levels. And if we have something in our mind that we think is impossible, it's not impossible. It's very possible. And you need to go after it. And sometimes we need to start with that scratch sheet of paper and go, what do I need to achieve? What do I want to achieve? How can I contribute to the projects that I'm involved in at a greater way? And who do I need help to help that, and get in touch with people, ask for help. It's so important.
Whenever we have coaches on the show, my mind just gets going like, oh, I should look for this and look for this. And then I need a coach for coaches. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's a thing. Is it a thing? A coach to tell me what kind of coach I need? I don't know. Is it a thing? I don't know.
Usually any coach will do a free session for you that will say, and then you can figure out if that's the right coach. And I'd be happy to help you with that, Kim.
I appreciate it. Thank you for co-hosting with me today.
Yes,
I hope you had a great time.
Yeah, I hope Tracy thinks I did a decent job for her, and she'll be back next week for the show.
She sure will. She sure will. Well, Ben has been volunteering with us today. We have a bunch of volunteers. We want to thank everyone for helping out today. Thanks for everyone for joining us on the show. Make sure to share, connect, all that fun stuff. Next week, okay, we have Claire Van Zyl and AJ Sue. I hope I said the right name, or the right way to say the name. And then we have Tracy Champagne back as co-hosting the show.
So thank you so much for having me today. I had a blast. It really is fun to be here. I love what you put together. Everybody, please help the community grow by liking and subscribing. If you're on social, this little act goes a long way in helping us reach more people. Please leave a comment. Tell your friends about it. We will see you soon. And remember, think local.